This video and the one that follows are both dedicated to the concept of paradigms. Now, this is the most difficult aspect of your project to research, think about, and write. It's also the distinguishing factor between the lower quality projects and those that have an opportunity to earn the highest grade in this class. So for your midterms, you're going to be expanding beyond the problem section that you've already done some research and writing on, and you're going to start analyzing some of the different techniques, approaches, both theoretical and empirical, that have historically been used to try to address the problem that you've defined. Eventually, when you've decided on what your plan is going to be, you're going to need to also present a really well-researched, well-argued paradigm section that will support the particular plan that you've proposed. So remember that grants are often very, very competitive. You may have dozens, in some cases even hundreds, of proposals that have been sent to your patron, all designed with an idea in mind to address the same problem that you're defining, or a similar problem to the one that you've defined. And so the patron is faced with, how do I choose among these proposals? And one of the primary ways that they're going to make their decision is going to be based on which one of the plans that have been proposed do they think is most likely to actually be successful in addressing the problem. And the argument that you make for that is in your paradigm section, or eventually what will be called what's called the literature review. And so that's the piece that holds together the problem and the plan, where you actually give concrete evidence showing that your plan is likely to be successful because it is so well supported by the theoretical research and by the empirical paradigms that currently exist. Now that sounds easy in practice, or in theory, but in practice this actually can require quite a bit of creativity and thinking on your part. The paradigms don't always just magically kind of line up in a really perfect, neat way. You often have to get creative about looking for them and creative about the kinds of arguments that you can make in support of your particular plan. So the document you're looking at on your screen, minus the big word on the top, is found in resources, and I'd like you to take a look at that. And if you could also, before finishing this video, not just read that document on finding and using theoretical and empirical paradigms, but if you could also read the two sample student works that are also found in research. There's one on childhood obesity and there's one on saving black male adolescents. You don't have to read and study the entire project, but I would like you to scan the project and then read in some detail the paradigm section, so you understand what the problem is, but then you're really spending some time focusing on what kind of paradigms that they have given. Neither of those are perfect examples, so feel free to be thinking about what are the positives that have been presented there, what part of their arguments are persuasive, and what part are maybe not so persuasive. So in terms of looking for theoretical paradigms, you generally want to be looking for the kinds of key terms or concepts that need to be defined, or that you look for definitions for. You can find them in scholarly literature. You can also find them in some of the research specifically on the problem. It can be a professional source, even a popular source talking about what other people have done, what scholars, experts have thought about, and any of those are going to help you be able to find key terms that you can look up and explore as paradigms. Examples that I gave here is game theory or social norms theory. I was working with a student in my office who's interested in obesity problems, and we found something called the ecological approach, which involves all different groups from all different teachers, administrators, parents, church leaders, etc., as well as children. So look for key terms like that that you may need to define. So just looking at some of the samples that are on this document, there's one for Walmart where he had some really cool empirical models that specifically supported his theoretical frameworks that use terms like corporate responsibility, corporate citizenship, etc.